guys, this is GamerCow. Welcome to another Link to the Past randomizer video. This time we're actually going to be doing a full run, and it's kind of exciting because this is actually a test sprite which will hopefully be going up in version 8.27. But Rock has made several sprites for this thing now. Custom sprites have been a thing since about 8.23, and more of them get added every version as people submit them, and you know, they're all properly tested, etc. And yeah, this one is Cirno. We already have Marissa in, we have Rumia because Legend of Twilight, of course we had to have Rumia in, and now people have asked for Cirno, so we have a Cirno sprite coming, which is really good. So it's been quite a long time since I did a video for this on YouTube. I know I've done a couple of tutorial things, haven't done a full run, mostly because I do them on my stream all the time, so there's not really much of a point of doing too many videos. But this one is a bit special because it's a test of a new sprite, so we're gonna have a go anyway. There's been a ton of changes from the last time I did a video of this, so I don't really remember all of them at this point. I'll try and point out the ones I do remember, but yeah, needless to say, there's a ton of stuff. This is a new mode compared to what we had before as well. This is the open mode, which does not start you in escape. You do not get a sword at the very beginning of the game, and you basically get to start from either the sanctuary, where Zelda is pre-rescued, or from your house, and basically you've got to find all the things that you need to beat the game. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Of course, we have to have Baka as the file names here, because why not? Alright, so let us begin. So my usual start for open mode is to... I just seen it flying there, it's kind of fun. I haven't actually played this seed at all yet, obviously, so just seeing her flying there is kind of hilarious, because usually you've got the standard walk cycle, but no, she's a fairy, she flies. That's just how it goes. I wonder how that's going to affect the bomb jumps later. That's going to be interesting. We'll see how that works with a sword too, when I eventually get one. So yeah, my standard route for open is to go ahead and check the 2 items that uncle here, and then assuming I don't get a sword, or any, you know, weapon that I could take into the castle, I'll save quick, go to the sanctuary, do the stuff at Kakariko, and go from there. I will at least pick up the 2 magic things here, because if you never know, you might get the hammer and the magic powder or something, or you might need that magic in order to use your weaponry at the beginning. Because in open mode, like I was saying, you do not get stuck on the side. You do not have a sword to begin with, so you need to kind of rely on some other stuff in order to get by. And the main weapon that you'll probably end up relying on until you get the sword is bombs. So we need to be able to buy those or find them elsewhere, and that is the opening goal here. So Kakariko is a pretty good place for that. You need 50 rupees to buy the bombs. Hopefully we can get them without buying them here, because, well, we've killed 1 enemy, so green pull tier. Oh, that's actually really good. Green pull tier as red rupees is a very nice beginning to this. So that is when you kill between 1 and 3 enemies and then pull a tree. You just have arrows, you're not exactly that great. I'm going to pull this once more to get that, and then we're going to set up for the blue tier, which is when you kill at least 4 enemies and then take damage. You can have a red tier where you kill at least 4 enemies and then don't take damage before you pull the tree, but we're gonna just set for blue because there's a crow in the Lost Woods that almost always damages you unless you are really slow and don't go for it. So just a red rupee there. It's always worth checking this. Like, I've been debating whether or not it's worth it, because v8.26 seems to have a very low chance of Lumberjack being needed, probably because boots are much harder to find nowadays. But the few times where it is necessary, you really want that information. So yeah, this crow is really annoying, that's why we set for blue tier. Check the mushroom spot, that actually is bombs, which is really good, because now I can, before I buy bombs in Kakariko, I can actually do the usual stuff there. So nice route to begin with here. Lost Woods item, just a heart piece. It's whatever, you know. I usually pick it up regardless because it doesn't take that long. This guy is blue. So one thing with the custom sprite stuff is that the color palette, as blue tends to is green rupees here, the color palette of Link actually affects some of the sprites in like the NPCs and stuff. So you see this in certain ones, like with Marissa, her hair color actually affects the color of some parts of the characters there. But because Cirno is like all blue, apparently that guy is now all blue as well, where usually he's red. So that's kind of awesome. Didn't think about that. This also works when you change males as well. When you change armors, it actually changes the palette then too. So I like how she just lands on the ground. And speaking of, we already have that. It looks like it's changed the ribbon color here, which is quite cool. So I guess that's the full-on indicator here. Canis Amariah is pretty cool. So Canis Amariah is a decent weapon to begin with here. It can actually do some respectable damage if you set it up right. The block has like 5 HP and it does fighter sword damage for each like time it collides with an enemy. So that can actually be pretty good. The beginning of face there. Yeah, I did say I hadn't actually played with Cirno yet, so it's an interesting experience seeing her facial expressions and stuff here. Sank heart there. You can tell it's a sanctuary heart because it gave you a full refill. That we probably mentioned that the last time I did this. Mirror is really nice, so that's definitely helpful for when I go and check escape, because I can just mirror back to the start now, which is really good. Rip-off merchant here, giving us a 20 for his for our delightful 100. This lady is blue. It's great. If you see like Decidui sprite, also from Archie, has like really pale skin there, so she is just like pure white, which is also quite funny. Alright, so clearly out of bombs again, so we need to go ahead and buy some more. That guy is also blue because again his sprite is affected too. I see that with Marissa when I have red mail with her, because her hair goes like really deep red and it pretty much, you know, makes his color just very garish in a way. It's always fun. Right, so we needed to buy those bombs because we didn't get any here. No bottles, so we can't check the sick kid, and that is fine. We do have the race game to go and check, as well as to scout out the library here. So the library item will tell us if we need boots at least somewhat early. And it is a heart piece, so this is another one that doesn't tend to be too much at, but at the same time, it's always worth checking this. I usually go and check this this item in this way because, see, it's useless here, so if I just went and did the race game, then it would have been a big waste of time to go through all of that. Would have been really annoying. So from here, I want to check the Southshore stuff. I don't tend to do the fate flippers. Oh, excuse me. Don't tend to do the fate flippers quite as much now. I will do the fate flipper to Hobo, but I don't generally do it to Zora. There was a time in this before v8.26 where I would do the Chris Houlihan room at the start pretty much all the time, because that would get me extra money. Also with a mirror you can despawn this block so you can get this done in one shot, and then hey, that's pretty good. So that is definitely the reason why you open this chest first before going in, because going outside. Because if that's Pegasus boots, also a nice bonk. If that's Pegasus boots, then you get that straight away, which is really good. And you get to do the dash through the thing when you repeat. It just makes more sense. I don't know, I'm not really explaining it very well, but basically it makes it easier to go fast, which is good. So the next protocol is Mini Modon Cave here, and yeah, what I was saying before, with v8.26, they've actually added a couple of chests in the Zora area, so it makes it less valuable to me now to actually go there early. because you need either the moon pearl to do the Jesus walk, or you need the flippers in order to get the two items which are up there now. So it makes it harder to actually justify it. But anyway, we are getting some stuff down here. We've got the power glove, which is pretty good. The power glove could be indicating a trip up Death Mountain if we find the lamp. The power glove, and that's another thing I should mention actually, because in V18 the glove stuff, any items that way, were not progressive. So nowadays it follows what's called progressive logic, where rather than being able to find any of the upgrade items at any point, you can only find the lowest level, which means that with the sword, say, we will not find... I should have picked up that magic. We will not find Butter Sword before Master Sword, or in this case we will only find like Fighter Sword first. So you have to find all the swords in order, and that's the same with the armor, that's the same with the shield, and it's the same with the glove as well. So you do need to find both gloves in order to beat the game. You need to find at least 2 swords in order to beat the game, or 1 sword if you're playing in standard mode, because you still get one from Uncle. And you need to... Why did I do it backwards? That was weird. You need to find, well, none of the armors, none of the shields if you really don't want to, but you can, and it would be pretty helpful. So there's just 300 on there. I like this swimming sprite, by the way. Just her head, because her body is too small, so it's just, you just see her head. It's kind of fun. Almost be the same as if like Sekabanki was in here. I don't know. That'd be a really funny sprite to see. Probably not that great of one, or it'd be really hard to do well, but it'd be funny. That's the thing. Right, so this is technically a sequence break using the Fate Flippers here. Did get us Quake, which is interesting, because if we need to use that later, that's definitely a weird one to have. Alright, so with the boots here, we can do the Sanctuary Rubble Pile over this side. This is one of the easy spots to forget to do, so definitely don't do that. So we'll grab this real quick, and then with the power gloves, the other reason I came up here, we can actually check the chest at the back of Escape. So we'll definitely do that. Because this is open mode, the small key that you need to get through sewers might not actually be in the front half of the castle. It can be in the 3 chests at the back here. So, and it can also be at the Sanctuary itself, but we've already checked that one, so we know it's not there. So yeah, you definitely want to check this place out as quick as you can. You do still want to check the regular escape pretty quickly as well, but that is the core reason why. Now, the other thing is the sewer chest is the reason I'm just save quitting here, especially because I don't have the sword. The sewers are also in the dark. One thing that was changed as of, I forget which version it was, I think it might have been V21. One thing that was changed is that the Light World dark rooms do not have the light cone anymore in standard. So Eastern Palace is in the dark, you have Death Mountain is in the dark, and the only one that isn't in the dark in standard is sewers, because the sewers will have to be done. And basically, if that was in the dark, you would be forcing the lamp in the first half of Escape, which is really dumb and stupid and shouldn't be a thing. So instead, they have a light cone in sewers and nowhere else. But in open mode, that is not the case. So in open mode, you actually do have that that worry that you are not able to... Why am I going in here? You have that worry that... Why is the old man in there? What? I haven't rescued you, old man. Why are you in there? I've never seen that before. Anyway. Yeah, the light cone in the sewers is not there anymore, which means I would be completely in the dark, and I don't have a sword to try and help me get through, and there's one chest in there which is potentially still the map. I haven't yet seen the other ones, so It's not worth it. I do have the stuff to get into Tower of Hera, but I don't have anything to beat it, because Moldorm requires that you have a sword or the hammer. So this is probably not the right call, but I just wanted to see this. Of course it's the frog spite. Oh, this is amazing. Alright, check the map. Turtle Rock is Crystal 6. 3 pendants in the Dark World, huh? Thieves Town, Ice Palace, and Palace of Darkness. With which one was that? Yeah, Thieves Town being green. That's amazing. Of course it's the frog spite. Yeah, Palace of Darkness being blue, like ice being red or whatever, and yeah, that's the thing. Oh, that's pretty bad. Okay, so didn't really think this through very well. I'm gonna have to use bombs for this here to get this done. I don't have a fire source either, so basement could easily just block me out here. I'm gonna grab this money anyway though, I think. And then we'll mirror back to start. Yeah, this is definitely not the play you should be making right now, by the way. Just pointing that out. This is not your standard thoroughfare. At the very least I can try and continue, but you know what, it's not really worth it now that I think about it, because I would have to use bombs on the dudes at the top, and that just does not seem like a good idea. So we ain't gonna bother doing that. Instead, we're going to take our bombs and we're gonna go over to Easton. So we can see Easton is actually Crystal 5. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go over to Easton Palace here, and we're going to do the Southshore hut stuff. This is the far more sensible check, to be honest. Do the Southshore stuff, and from there we might check Easton as well. Can't finish Easton unless you have the lamp and the bow, but like we have enough gear that I could do the dark room in Easton, so that wouldn't be a problem. But yeah, you need the lamp for that. The other thing you need the lamp for is Aga Tower, which is something you don't normally think about, but you actually do need the lamp because there are dark rooms in Aghanim's Tower. So even if you do have the Master Sword or Cape and Fighter Sword to get through the tower, if you don't have the lamp, then there's no way you're getting through there. I mean, you can, but it's really, really unlikely that you would want to. Somebody recently actually said that they had like Fire Rod as the I think it was Fire Rod they said that was in the chests, not in the chest, in the lumberjack cave, and then it was a lamp in Turtle Rock, and that's what made them ended up like learning how to do lampless. Similar sort of thing as why I learned dark rooms in Misery Mire and such, because I had one seed like 2 days before the last tourney in March, where I had the freaking, what was it, the lamp was on the pedestal, so I was just like, no, I need to learn how to do this now, because that is really stupid, and nobody should have to do the pedestal to find the freaking lamp. Still possible nowadays, although since the lamp is technically a required item by the logic, you're never expected to do dark rooms. The lamp is actually a required item at this point. That's 2 items in this dungeon already, huh? Okay. So, not the greatest of starts here, admittedly, but at the very least, if we get the items quickly, then I know I don't have to do anything here for a while. So you'll see people potentially skip this check, but Easton can be the way that you have to progress. Man, I am failing on the bonking just now. It's kinda bad. I like how she's still flying even when you have something above it. So the big key there, hopefully the big chest has the item, because then we can just leave here. Although if it is the bow, then I'm probably gonna just do this dungeon, but you know, didn't expect it to be, and that's the annoying thing now, is that I have to go and check the stuff over here as well. So we're gonna have our first experience with the dark room here, and you'll be able to see kind of why I didn't want to do this right now, because I don't have a sword for this, which means I have to take a hit off of him, There's a small key under a pot on the right hand side here, which I guess we don't need to lift up the one for. There's mini Stalfos all the way around this room, that's what I wanted, the health. And now we're back in here. There's the one enemy there, and then you just hold up left and you're through. It's not a particularly difficult room, but it can cause a lot of damage if the popos in there move in weird fashions. So I don't especially like doing it in the dark. And that was our last item out of here. You know what? I should probably just save quit because I'll get my health back. I was thinking I've got the mirror and the flute, so I don't need to save quit, but we will. Alright, so from here, there is escape that I could get some stuff from, and there is desert area, which I can get one item from, and then scout one more. So the item on there, just an arrow capacity, that's the one that I can scout. And then we have the item up here, which you need to bomb for. And this is Agina's Cave, it's really annoying. But something has to be relatively soon, otherwise things are going to be a bit weird. I think I might need to get some more magic for the Canis Amariah here, because yeah, it looks like escape is the only place where something can be. So that means I'm going to need to have some more firepower here. One thing to note, you cannot use medallions without a sword. So that quake I have right now, even if it was like bomb burst or something, entirely useless. Also nuts to you, get out of my way. So yeah, I need some more magic for my Canis Amariah, so we're going to pick that up just now. Unfortunately, yeah, missed the full magic drop before, because that would have been very nice. But I definitely need that. We'll see if I get drop off of him. Do not. Because I can use bombs for this, but it's not ideal for sure. It's a bit of a rough start to this scene. Not gonna lie. This is definitely not the kindest of beginnings that I've had in one of these. So it would also be completely possible to rescue the old man right now, but without a sword to sort of light the way in the dark room, it's a little bit sketchy. So I'd really rather not. So you can see, blue mail doesn't exactly help here. We still... oh, we've got Cane of Burner. Yeah, Cane of Burner doesn't really do anything for us either, though. It's a bit too... bit too intensive. That's pretty bad. Because oh, Fire Rod, okay. Fire Rod, what does that do for us right now? Not much, actually. Again, it's a decent weapon, but it doesn't actually open up anything right now. Because Fire Rod does not let you see in the dark. So, you know. Although it does actually light torches if there are any in the dark areas, which is pretty good. I'm gonna try and use bombs against this guy, if I can. Might be a little bit tricky to set up. Yeah, that was pretty bad, but you know what, it's okay because now I've got full magic. I can just use the Cane of Burner here. Just to play super safe. I mean, I could Fire Rod this guy too, I guess, but I don't want to use it again because it does take up a lot of magic. So we have one more chest to get here. It is going to be an item. Question is it going to be anything useful? That is an honest to God good question right now. Of course this guy is going to come this way first, but that's okay, this is what Canis Amariah is for. So we're going to get some little bit of health here. We do need 2 pots in order to kill this thing fairly quickly. So we'll do that. Get the key. And in this chest we have a heart container. That's not particularly useful, so where... so it has to be Tower of Hera then that I go. Huh. That's kind of annoying, but I do have the magic for it, so At this point, it's okay. Kind of funny that, like I said, oh, this is not the right place to go right now, but because I do have magic for the Canis Amariah blocks, I should be able to kill the hard hat beetles to get up to the top. And there's only one item left in that dungeon too. Yeah, it's a bit of a rough start, but this is what can happen sometimes in open mode. You've got to get creative with these things. You've really got to just try and use this up. But what could this even be now that would be beneficial? I'm trying to think like what I would actually need here. Titan's Mitt, I guess, could be a thing, because then I could get into desert. Yeah, it could be Titan's Mitt that's in here. That'd be interesting at the very least. So, at this point, yeah, Canis Amariah needing that much magic for this as well is also quite rough. I've never tried to use the cane in this room, so we'll see if this works out. You can kill 2 of them with pots, and then the 3rd one you're going to need yet to do that. That's cool. We need to hit the switch, so we'll do that. Because, yeah, you do need to hit that crystal switch to make that room bearable. And then this one is quite nice as well. We can't actually beat Moldorm right now, because again, we don't have the hammer and we don't have the bow. I guess the hookshot could be something here. That could also be what we need. No, so I need this open. We need to do the bomb jump here. Hopefully that sets up okay. Nice and easy. Small key to go and do basement because I can't do mini. Oh, wow, this is something. What kind of seed have you sent me here, Archie? Yeah, because we can't beat Moldorm, so we have to do the basement here. So I can safely say, even though I've done like a bazillion of these things, why did I hit that one anyway? I can safely say, even though I've done like a million of these things by now, it feels like anyway, I've done about 145, maybe 150 races of this by now, as well as a lot of seeds by myself. I have never seen anything like this. This is definitely one heck of a weird start. The nice thing though is we will get full magic down here, so that would be good. Because then, yeah, I need to switch to fire rod anyway. But that's nice because we can just have that for coming out of here. It's kind of interesting, Cirno using the fire rod, but you know, that's just how it goes. And this is the hammer. What does that even do for us? Oh, no, that's fine, because that lets us... Yeah, okay. The hammer lets us go to East Death Mountain right now. But it also lets us beat Moldorm, so we need to go back up and do that. And now we actually have a weapon, which is pretty good, so... we can definitely take care of these bozos, no problem. Man, what a seed this has been so far. It's a shame I didn't have magic coming up here, because I would have had this hammer like straight away, and it would have been much better. So it's kind of funny in a way. Like I was saying, I made the right play, but I didn't have the tools to do it, because I would have had to bomb that guy, and I don't know if you've ever tried to bomb one of those, but it's really nasty to do, because the bomb will stun them, and then they don't get affected until they... God damn it. I don't normally miss that, but that's fine. The bomb will stun them, and they cannot be hit again until they start moving. I think I've had this discussion with somebody before, and I think the solution was actually to go ahead and respawn the room and make the pots appear again, but I didn't really think on that one. I didn't think this was actually the right play in the first place, because usually Moldorm is the one who has the item. Plus I didn't have the fire source to go and get the hammer, so wouldn't have mattered anyway. Do not fall down the middle hole. Oh my god. So Moldorm is a bit of a butt. The hammer does do tempered sword damage, so you can kill him in 3 hits, and you don't trigger the fast phase, which is pretty good. But he's still pretty difficult to take out sometimes. And you definitely don't want to fall down that middle hole, because that middle hole lets you fall down 2 floors. That's adorable. That is such a good crystal get. Yep, alright, so that hammer takes us this way. Wow, like I say, what a seed to begin with here though. This is something else. But like I've said, this can happen in open mode, where you have to be really creative about what you do. So just 50 rupees on there, that's fine. We have this spiral cave to do, and then there's what's called the paradox cave, because it's really weird how it works. Like, it doesn't make any physical sense the way that it's set up, but it's there, and that's just how it works. Upstairs and downstairs do not make sense in the paradox cave. That is the overall take home. And in here, just a red rupee, okay. But we do have 7 items to get in that other cave, so something there has to be important here, or like useful here. Could still be the Titan's Mitt. That would be an interesting one. It could be... obviously could be a couple of swords, but you'd need the lamp as well in order to make Aghanim a requirement. The idea is Moon Pearl would be the one I really want here. Because with Moon Pearl, then we can start doing some Dark World stuff. So that is what I expect to get out of here. There's the Titan's Mitt though, that's interesting. So the Titan's Mitt can actually take us to the Misery Maya area, which we could get Moon Pearl from there. So that'd be fun. So here, just chuck that across. You could use a Canis Amariah block as well, actually. Menuing's been really slow at the moment because I'm trying to work out just how I'm supposed to menu to certain places here. Fortunately, they didn't kill that guy off, so need to just do that again. Oh, dropped a full magic anyway. How nice of you. So, there we go, there's that. Nothing else in here. Wow, so we are supposed to go to Misery Maya to get our next thing. So, because oh no, we could go King's Tomb as well. Because I have the mirror here though, I'm going to check a couple of items before I go in the so-called Super Bunny cave here. And it's called the Super Bunny Cave because you actually can trigger the Super Bunny state to get through here. So, when you are indoors and you fall down a hole, it's kind of only really useful in this particular cave, but like you can use the mirror anyway, right? Because that's how you get out of the bunny state. But when you fall down a hole, you get some of your regular Link traits back. And that includes dashing and being able to open chests. So here, we can get these 2 chests without actually having the Moon Pearl. Didn't turn out to be anything this time, but that's fine. And then as soon as we leave this cave, we lose this state. So we aren't going to be able to keep hold of this. But what this does let me do is it lets me check what Turtle Rock is like what's required to open Turtle Rock, which is Quake. We got Quake already, so that's pretty good. And now I can use, well, I have that information for later. So let's go ahead and do this stuff here, because we can get into this. We can do Desert. Desert Palace is something I can beat right now, because I have gloves, I have Fire Rod, I have ways to beat Lamola. This requires ether, so we do need that here. There is a way of getting the stuff in that cave as well, but you know, using the Super Money, it's like you mirror on the same frame as you enter the hut. It's really hard to do though, and I don't have a sword to sort of say. I mean, I guess I've got the boots. I could probably use those to see whether or not I have the glitch. There's the lamp, which is interesting. Doesn't immediately help me, although it does let me get that 1 item. No, it gets me 2 items actually. So the lamp gets me the Old Man, and it gets me the 1 item in Escape, because we did get the map in there, so we know the Escape chest has got an item. The one in the sewers. So those 2 are definitely possible locations to go now. It's kind of rough because they're a little bit out of the way, but at least I can flute to one of them, so that's fine. And well, we're still getting crystals here as well, though. Even though we are swordless still, we are getting crystals, which is fine. I can kind of imagine Moonpearl being at one of those places. Moonpearl could also be a Zora, though, because with the Power Glove, you can get to Zora and get one item from him. I need to use the hammer. So the hammer is really nice to have. There's the Moonpearl, nice. That means I can just leave this place now once I get these bombs, because I have both items. There's no need to open the other chest. So yeah, that makes a big difference here, having the hammer and just being able to use that without getting magic consumption problems. Because honestly, that is the worst part of doing most of this stuff, really, is when you run out of magic, and it's like, well, crap, what do I do now? So having a weapon that doesn't consume magic, which is usually what your sword is reserved for, right? But, you know, having a weapon that doesn't eat your magic. The bow is another one that would work for that, but of course the bow is limited ammo as well. That's the reason bombs are not quite so good for it, because bombs also limited ammo, so it's a bit tricky to use those, you know, super well. But now this seed is going to open up a little bit, now that we have the Moonpearl here. We can actually do Dark World stuff. And the nice thing is, for once, I actually have the mirror for this too, so it's going to make it a bit quicker to check most of this stuff, because we can be more thorough with the areas, so definitely happy to see that. Alright, so you get 8 shots with a Fire Rod. These guys take 2 Fire Rod hits each, so the idea is don't miss, obviously. I'm just going to take it nice and easy so I don't have to try and hammer them, because that would be really annoying. Usually I try and be a bit quicker about that, but because I don't have a sword to fall back on, it's like, do I really want to try and speed this up? Like, it'd be nice, but at the same time, it would also be pretty bad if I ran out of magic. You only get to miss 2 hits, so don't miss, basically. That's the take home from that. Just don't miss and you'll be fine. Alright, so we can get a couple extra items out of here whilst I'm around. If one of them is Ether, we could actually enter Canis Amariah, but wouldn't really be able to finish it, so I don't think there's much of a point. Actually, I can't enter it because I don't have a sword, so, you know, there is that. So, from here, we have the Checkerboard Cave to check. I've already checked the Gina, and then it is into the Dark World, I suppose. I can't finish Skull Woods because I don't have a sword, though. There's a curtain at the end of Skull Woods that you need a sword in order to slash down. I will take that bottle, though, because that bottle is what you need to access the item from Sick Kid. So definitely need to take that. So, from here, what do we want to do? We want to go to 3, and we want to get the item from here. So maybe this will be our sword? That'd be nice. Nope, just another heart container. But you know what? I'll take some safety hearts and stuff here. Why not, eh? Oh, pff, nice bonk. So, now we will go and do some stuff in the Dark World here. Probably Thieves Town is a decent idea. Like, it is a pendant, but at the same time it's green pendant, which is useful because Southshore is needed for that. If you saw on the map earlier there was a tip mark next to, or like an asterisk next to it, that's a colorblind sort of thing. They're gonna do that with potions, I think, at some point as well, where even though, you know, like, you'll be able to tell which one is red and which one is green by a non-like color means, because colorblind people do play this too, and it's honestly, it's really nice that they're being that sort of inclusive with it. But then again, one of the lead developers of the logic is colorblind, so that does help out a fair bit too. But it is still a good gesture. 11 hearts blue mail is basically where I want to be at endgame here, so I should be fine defensively, even if this guy is going to be a butt. I should be fine on the defensive front here. So yeah, I guess I don't particularly know if I like this, but at the same time, we have the means to get every item in this dungeon. If you don't have the hammer before coming in Thieves' Town, it can be pretty scary, because there is an item in the big chest that is hammer locked. But, you know, when you do have it, it's whatever, we'll just go in. I thought that guy was going to get in the way. Oh, chase me down, why don't you? Yeah, and I mean, with the Pegasus boots, this dungeon is noticeably quicker, so it's okay. Like, this is a play that I could see some people skipping, but Thieves' Town has 4 items in it, and it is a relatively quick check, and we still need so many things here. Oh, and there is silver arrows, which is interesting, so that's pretty good. Not having to worry about finding those anymore is nice. So at the very least we found some value in here. We found 2 items so far. So there are 2 left in the dungeon plus the green pendant. If you've got a sword, you just kill that guy regardless, but without the sword, of course, he can get in the way, which is a bit of a pain. Same with these 2. It's RNG as to whether or not they decide to move that far forward, and that can get kind of annoying. Same with this room, is just like dumb RNG, but whatever. I could have used the Canis Burner, but that would lag a lot, so I would rather not do that. And yeah, it's general Thieves' Town here. Just go through, bomb the thing at the top. There's an item chest up here anyway, because in the vanilla game they're like, hey Doofus, you need bombs to this place, we're gonna give you bombs to make sure that you can blow this up. In this case it's just a stinky compass though. You gotta be sort of careful around these guys, because they do a heart of damage. They do 2 hearts of damage if you're on green mail, which you would be in vanilla getting through here, but yeah, they still do a heart of damage with blue mail, so kind of annoying. When you don't really have good weapons to take them out, it's painful. And do remember that you can't actually use items in a doorway, you can only swing the sword. But oh wait, we don't have a sword, so we can't actually get rid of them that way, which is pretty annoying to say the least. So now I need to switch to hammer to kill him. Nice that you gave me a heart though, that's pretty useful. So because I don't have a sword, I'm gonna get this chest first. Normally when I've got the boots I would not bother because I could just dash through the jellies, but because I don't have the sword, we found a shield at least. I suppose that's something. It's not going to be enough to stop blind from being able to damage us with that, and the blind fights could be interesting as well, but we have Canis Burner, so it's not really going to be that big of a deal. This lady is also blue. So that was the last item in here. Blind is not going to have an item for us, unfortunately, but you know what? We'll deal with it. It's fine. You can actually play as this maiden now as well. She is one of the sprites in the game, which is quite fun. So many good ones at this point. Like the original ones, you can play Zelda was the one I first used. Of course, Marissa is now involved. You can play as the old man if you want, which is pretty funny. The old man in the cave. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, hammer against this guy is pretty tough, but it is definitely possible with some practice to get this done, but it's a lot easier when he moves down to the bottom like this. But even then it can be kind of tricky. So we'll probably end up using Canis Burner for this, but yeah. Or maybe not, we'll see. No, we got it, okay, that's fine. Don't need to bother with Canis Burner in this instance. Alright, so green pendant obtained. Only silvers out of here, so nothing too good unfortunately, but Still, silvers are going to speed up the game later on, so that's kind of nice. So from here, there's lots of stuff that I can still do. I need to make sure that the window is correct. I can't exactly play the game if it's not the active window. Yeah, we still got lots of stuff that we can do here. Heart piece is not one of those things that is helpful. I always have to double check that I've checked that place nowadays, because I have, unfortunately, infamously, that is the one sort of place in the tournament, the last one in spring, that I failed to get and kind of cost me all the times, which was really bad. That actually threw me out the tournament by itself, not getting that. So we're going to get some information here about this cave, which has just a bomb capacity. If that has an item on it, then you really want to know. You need the cape to get that item. You don't need the hookshot, but you do need the cape. So from here, I'm going to check the couple of spots in this area, one of which is the so-called graveyard ledge, which is this one, and then King's Tomb is the other one I'm going to check. Because these two places are really kind of out of the way, and if they do... I forgot I could have just gone right with a bomb. If they do have an item, then you really want this, because it's super slow to get back up. I don't really need a heart piece at this point, so I'm not going to bother taking it. Like, I am comfortable with this level of defense for the rest of the game, so I don't need to pick up that heart piece. So, yep, gonna grab the one from here. 44 minutes in, and well, 44 and a half minutes in, and we still don't have a sword. Neat little trick here, if you need to have the Pegasus boots to get in here, but a neat little trick, if you face away from the grave and, hold your sword out for a spin attack and then do a dash while pushing against the grave, it just instantly opens it. So, nice fun little tech there. And so yeah, that's pretty much all the stuff I can do up here, because I don't have the flippers to get over to Zora area right now, so I can't actually do that from this side. So instead, I'm going to go down the south stuff here, and because of having the mirror, we can actually go ahead and do the stuff in the pegs and whatnot. You can do all the blacksmith stuff too. You don't actually need the mirror now to do blacksmith. I think that was version 8.23 where they managed to fix the vanilla behavior, if you will. Before that though, you need to not have like the chest or the dwarf guy following you in order to get this. So just make sure that you get that first. Also, random dig between 1 and 30, that's preset for the seed. That's another thing they've done a lot in more recent versions, is they've fixed like boss RNG and stuff like that. So even though they've reintroduced like Ganon warps and Aga blue balls and crap, it's fixed per seed, so it's a bit fairer in that sense. Anyway, I believe, like I said, it's about version 8.23 that you no longer need to have the mirror to complete this guy's side quest, because what you can do instead is you can actually go ahead and save and quit, and he will return with you in the light world, and you can, as the right polarity, if you will, he returns as the dwarf and not the frog, and you can go ahead and rescue him that way. You can do the same with the purple chest, which you could actually do beforehand too, but yeah, you can do that with a purple chest so that you can take that back to the guy as well. So even though I've got the Pegasus boots here, I don't have a sword, so I can't actually go ahead and dash these pegs down with a hammer dash, because when you don't have a sword, for whatever reason, you just bonk off of them. So I have to do this manually anyway, which is really annoying, but whatever. I think you need to leave the chest there, otherwise it complains. I don't really want the red boomerang, so we ain't gonna bother with that. I don't like the boomerang in this game, I don't really use it at all, so not going to bother picking that up. And now we're going to take this on the world tour. We have all of this Southshore stuff to do. Well, it's not really a shore, it's just the area. We have this lot to take care of, so hopefully we get something good out of here. We also have Hype Cave that we can end up on, which is quite fun. So yep, some stuff with that. You can't enter the cave with the chest, so make sure you don't... yeah, you gotta leave it behind, but make sure you don't leave it on top of the portal, because that would be really bad. I've seen people do that before, it's very unfortunate. So, don't do that. And then we have the dude up here, which I'm getting wrecked by this, like, come on. These guys have just decided to be idiots, because I can't slash the bushes, so, you know, it's slow getting up there. And so those guys are like, hey, I heard you wanted to get beat up. Well, I didn't. Also, we got the fairy net. I mean, I know it's a bug catching net, but come on, it's Cirno, it's a fairy net, right? That's how it works, yeah? So, from here, we can go ahead and do Hype Cave. I guess we'll do that first. I can't enter Swamp Palace right now because I don't have the flippers, so there's no way that I can get into there, even if the hookshot was there. Like, there's no way I can check it right now. That purple chest is going to stay there until I get back to it, so long as I don't walk to the light world. Nice red mail. Okay, so now we get to see... Oh! She's almost like she's a her at this point. Okay, so green potion, there's the hookshot. So the hookshot kind of takes us to Dark World Death Mountain. That is a pretty good place to go with that. So probably going to do that next. God, I love this. This color scheme looks really cool. I don't know what it is with it. It just looks awesome. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But yeah, now we can. Oh, that's right. I now have the hookshots, and menuing to the mirror is very marginally slower. That's okay. So we can do this, and then I can use the flute to go away from here. And this has nothing of note. Man, that seems to be just the running thing for this seed right now, huh? Okay, so one thing I can do here now, because I have the lamp, this is something I can do by the logic now. This place would be pitch black just like Easton was when I went in there. So, without a sword, I really don't like doing this. I do it on occasion, but only really when I have something else that I can work with instead for it. And the Pegasus boots really wouldn't do it for me. I mean, I guess I could have used them, but wouldn't have been particularly straightforward, so I rather like to avoid that. Wow, get back in your cave, old man. Give me a single green rupee. God damn it, that's annoying as all hell, but okay. So there are 2 single rupees in the entire game, and 1 single arrow. We always joke about the single arrow, saying that we can go and beat the game now when we have that. I can't open up... wait, no, is there a point of going around this way? Yeah, I guess there is, because even though I've done Super Bunny Cave already, I can't open up Turtle Rock, so not much point in going up that way right now. So let us go ahead and just do this instead. So apart from just bonking all over the place, there's a neat little hookshot clip that you can do there. You've got to set it up by pushing the left block first, and then when you're on the right block, you don't want to go too far over, because it doesn't really work too well for you. You don't want to mess that up. So basically, yeah, if you are all the way over on the right hand wall, you will end up bonking the... you won't hit with the hookshot on the switch, so or not the switch, on the other block. Don't mind me, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Alright, so, do we get a sword finally? That'd be nice. We do get a full health refill, which is pretty good, because I'm gonna do Spike Cave after this. Doesn't look like there's anything else up here, though. Nope, just a whole bunch of money. Wow, absolutely nothing in Hookshot Cave. So... I'm running out of places where I can actually go right now. There's Palace of Darkness, there is Zora, but again, I can't... I mean, I can get all the stuff there now because I can do the Jesus Walk. but like according to the logic, I can't get Waterfall Fairy yet, so there's that. I can't yet do Ice Palace, even though it's a pendant I wouldn't want to anyway. There is Palace of Darkness, there's Catfish. Not particularly thrilling options, to say the least. The Pyramid could have something, because I haven't been there yet. Yeah, there's not a lot of good areas to go right now. Without a sword, I can't get into Turtle Rock, otherwise I would consider that. But yeah, that's not happening right now. So I think I do need to start looking at doing this north stuff here. Palace of Darkness, I might not even be able to get anything out of Palace of Darkness because I don't have the bow, and it's very possible that the first chest just locks me out there. But all things considered, I knew you were going to be coming after me, you stupid bird. All things considered, this being a pendant dungeon, I probably don't want to stick around here too much anyway. So maybe it's worth having a look in this dungeon. I could easily see this being skipped, but stupid frickin' guy with the spear. That doesn't normally happen, but okay, it's fine. If you get bad RNG with him and he decides he's going straight up, you can just get sniped, even if you are trying to be careful. Whatever, who cares, right? I'm just amazed that we are almost an hour into this and I still don't have a sword. That has not happened to me in an open mode seed for a long time. So it's kind of fun, actually. But at the same time, I really need that sword so I can do Skull Woods. That's pretty much where we're at right now. If I don't get a sword soon, Skull Woods is gonna probably have to be attempted without one. And this isn't swordless mode, so you do need that sword in order to finish the dungeon. It's quite rough. Oh, you know what else is rough? Just bonking all the time because you're dumb. Yeah, there we go. Saying this, the menuing is also being a bit tricky right now because, I don't know, it's like, this menu has got like half and half on stuff so far. It's kind of weird, the way that it's set up. So, with this full key here, this is sort of the standard route that I would take for this. I guess I could just do that to get the mirror. It's difficult thinking about the left-right menu wraps and stuff in this game. There's the book. That doesn't actually help us at all right now. This needs to be a small key. But it's not, so I'm actually bow-locked in this dungeon. Ugh, okay. That's the second time that's happened to me now as well. Getting 2 items in that bit. That's kind of gross. I want that full magic. So now I think I do need to look at Catfish and Zora. And the Pyramid, I guess. That is the other place to go right now. So yeah, we're just looking for any sword, and that would get us to 2 places. I mean, that could get us into Turtle Rock. Without the Ice Rod, I wouldn't be able to finish it, but that could get us to Turtle Rock, which is potentially pretty big. The sword would let me do Skull Woods, which is more important right now. I have plenty of resources to do Skull Woods, so that would be fine. But yeah, it's just tough right now. There's not a lot that I can actually do, you know? Neat little trick with the hookshot. You can still, even when you don't have a sword to do spin speed, you can still use the hookshot to do super speed. Nothing on the Pyramid. Huh. Where the hell are these swords? That's all I can say right now. What the heck is this? Huh. Like I said, this is a new one for me. I've never been this long in without a sword. I mean, I've been close to it, but I've still done quite a lot of stuff here, so it's really surprising to me. So, yeah, Catfish and 1 item at Zora is something I can do right now. And the logic would not allow me to do the waterfall fairy stuff, but I could come back and do it anyway. Like, I can do the Jesus walk to get these 2 items, and that would probably be the best bet at this point. So what have you got for us, man? Absolutely nothing. Good to see. Not really, but you know. Okay, so yeah, the waterfall up there has got 2 items to it, but in order to get in there you either need the flippers or you need like the moon pearl. The boots can do it too, but you need the moon pearl really to do a glitch for that. And as you can see, our favourite neighbourhood barker can't swim, so we don't exactly have any sort of logical option for that yet. If I did get the flippers, then I could do Swamp Palace, which would be pretty okay, I guess. So, what have you got for us? You have nothing as well. Wow. Where am I going in this seed then? This seed is full of confusion right now. So, I am... Oh, there is that one chest in Escape too. Huh, yeah, there is that one stupid chest in the sewer bit of Escape that I could go and get. But what I'm going to do first, I'm real quick going to go ahead and grab the items here. If I can get in the teleporter channel. For some reason I do have trouble getting into that one sometimes. I don't know why. Don't get hit by this guy, because you will insta-die if you get hit in Fate Flippers. It's a soft lock fix, so yeah, don't get hit by him. So you can see there are 2 chests in here. You can't open the chest when you're swimming, but for some reason when you have the moon pearl and you leave that place, you walk again, and it's great. So yeah, no idea why that's a thing, but it is, so we go with that. You can also dash from that situation as well, which is pretty good. Right, where am I going? Into Escape, I think. Need that one chest in there, because I know it's an item the lamp lets us get. So we'll go ahead and grab that. I could use Fate Flippers to go into Ice Palace as well, that is an option, but that seems pretty bad as an option, because it is a sequence break right now. So there's probably not anything immediately useful in there. There could be a sword, but yeah. Also, another recent change that you don't have to push that anymore in open mode, and once you've gone through here once in regular mode, you don't have to push it either. So useful changes, to say the least. So here, just have to watch out for all the snakes. They are kind of a pain in the butt. Same with this room, the snakes in here are really kind of annoying half the time, but this time they were fine. And there's the flippers, so yeah. Could have done that a bit earlier. Wasn't really willing to, but that's fine, I guess. So one thing the book does let us do, which I haven't really... I've kind of glossed over, but one thing the book does let us do, I forget which version it was in. I think it might have been 2.5, actually. The book will let us check the not just the pedestal anymore, but if you can't actually open up the things, the tablets, like Bombus and Aether tablets, you can actually see what the item is in them anyway, because the book will let you do that. So we'll go and demonstrate that just now, because I kind of want to see what's in Bombus tablet. Gotta get that jerk out of the way first, because he's a stupid tentacle thing. I don't even know what the hell they're supposed to be called. Somebody put in the comments what those weird enemies are. Increased bomb storage, oh man, don't mind if I do. Alright, so obviously we know we don't have to come back for the Bombus tablet now. The Aether tablet could still be something, but I would be checking that on the way to Turtle Rock. So yeah, definitely not checking out right now. Okay, so Swamp Palace without a sword. This is going to be an interesting endeavour. Just like before, you can use the mirror to despawn that block so you can just dash straight on through. So we'll go ahead and do that, no problem. So Swamp could very easily have the bow here. But if it has the bow, that would mean I have to go back to Palace of Darkness, which would be pretty bad. So here, gonna have to use this. Actually, the hookshot kills these guys as well, right? Yeah, so I should be using a hookshot here. Sometimes it's very easy to forget. Oh, sorry for knocking the mic there. Very easy to forget what enemies killed by the hookshot, because if an enemy isn't killed by the hookshot, then it just gets stunned if it gets affected at all. So it can be really easy to forget that. There's a big key straight away, which is pretty good. So that helps out a little bit here. That's the wrong thing. I'm gonna have to watch my health a little bit through here, because I don't have magic powder and I don't have a potion, and I can't just slash the enemies away with a sword because I don't have one. So I'm gonna have to be a little bit mindful about that. There are some health pickups in this dungeon you can get though, so shouldn't be too much of a worry. Let's go here, switch out to hookshot. Hookshot is normally the only item you need for the rest of this dungeon, but unfortunately with no level 2 or higher sword, there's one switch to get to West Wing that I would still have to actually hit with something else. So we are going to have to item switch once in this dungeon from here. So this chest is always a funny one to check, I guess, because it's just a big old loop around that you need to do. It's kind of silly. Don't need to worry about that. That guy actually dies in one hit to fight a sword, which is quite fun. Just a compass. That guarantees that I need to do the left side here, so let's just go ahead and do that now. Because there is an item over here, so I have to do this regardless. May as well just take the plunge and do it in this opening sitting here. So yes, that switch up there that you can't actually hit using the fighter sword, but we don't even have a sword, so we're gonna have to hit that switch with something else. Which usually my response is bombs, but Canis Amariah is pretty good too, because you just do that. You could also hit it from the other side, but you know, Canis Amariah is just generally fun for hitting switches and stuff. It is my favourite item of this game because I don't really consider it a weapon in the same way as like the fire rod and stuff. The fire rod is easily my favourite weapon of the game, but I generally consider Samaria more as an item. You can use it as a weapon, but it's pretty ineffective in most situations. There are a couple of situations specifically designed for it, like the Wizrobes in Ganon's Tower, but those are quite rare, so usually it's more of a utility item than Samaria, but just the principle of it is really fun. And I didn't even know before doing Randomizer, but if you dash into the block, then you send the block flying and it just looks really fun. It actually has some uses too in certain places. You could do some fun stuff with that. There's the cape. Cape doesn't really do anything for us at this point because we've already checked Bumper Cave as nothing, and we had Cane and Burner for the invincibility shenanigans. So the cape doesn't actually do much, but I do appreciate seeing it because it's looking like we might not find more than 2 swords during this whole thing right now. Since we are, you know, almost an hour 10 in and still no sword. This is definitely not a friendly seed for newer players, that's for sure. Because if you're unfamiliar with this game, then not having a sword for this long is really taxing. So yeah, not for the faint of heart, this particular seed. There is actually an easier mode nowadays. Like, this is normal difficulty, but there is actually an easy mode difficulty that doubles the number of swords and armors and such. I think it's like swords, armors, maybe shields get doubled. I know you get 2 magic upgrades, so half magic is the max that you get in normal mode now, but quarter magic is still available via double upgrade in the easy mode. So that's pretty fun. Yeah, I don't actually remember what else has changed with it, but I think that's the main stuff. There's our first sword. Holy hell. Okay, so that sword lets us do 2 things. It lets us go into Turtle Rock, and it lets us do Skull Woods. Now, also, it is still only the Dinky Fighter Sword though, so it, you know, it's kind of weak against these guys. We aren't gonna have better than this for Argus though, so that is a bit of an annoyance. I know Christos uses a spin slash strat in this fight when he has only Fighter Sword. I don't especially like it because you've got to charge the spin before you actually use the hookshot, and it's kind of slow and awkward. So instead, I go for the epic menuing strats, and I just kind of use the hammer. You can get like 2 puffs with this if you're good with your spacing, but it's pretty tricky to do, because usually your hookshot will just latch onto the 1 puff that you've already got. But if you can get close enough to him to sort of chain the hits like this, it doesn't actually feel that bad, you know? Especially if you've got a clean line of sight like this. If you've already got all the items to make this a 3-item transition, then it's kind of annoying, but... oh. But if you only have to do 2-item transitions, it's actually not that bad. So from here, I guess Fire Rod is probably the best bet. Although it's sort of annoying to land a hit, but... oops. Let's see... there we go. There's a way you can double hit with a Fire Rod, but I've not been able to do it myself yet. Right, that is the 4th bottle, I guess? Like, it's the 3rd I picked up, but I'm sure I saw one elsewhere. So, I think that is all the bottles accounted for now. Right, but it doesn't get that much easier at this point, because we're now going to be doing Skull Woods with Fighter Sword, so it's not going to get much easier. We could also do Ice Palace, that is another thing the Flippers is sort of leading to, but I really don't want to do Pendant Ice, especially not with Fighter Sword and single magic, you know, and no Bomb Burst either, so it would be really painful at the moment to do that. At least with Skull Woods, I have a potion, like a green potion for my Fire Rod, so I should be okay in here. I'm generally fine with this now. Like, I've had my failures in this dungeon in the past, but I'm generally okay with it at this stage. So, we should be fine. I can check the pedestal as well, because this... wow. This could still be a pedestal seed. So, this could be one where I have to get all the pendants. So, I can check that on the way past here. How did he fall off? Silly. Silly octopus, how did you fall off? I know they're beetles, but come on. They look like octopi, let's be honest. There's the bow, so that lets us... ooh, that lets us do Palace of Darkness now, I guess. So had I dipped in here earlier, which was definitely a consideration, because it's actually not a bad play in this version to dip in here early, I would have had the bow, which maybe Palace of Darkness has something still. And that would be really annoying, actually. But maybe Palace of Darkness had like a sword or whatever, and that would have been better to pick up. Who knows at this point? But yeah, Palace of Darkness could still have something. Eastern Palace is beatable now because I have the bow, and that is worth investigating at some stage. I mean, that's only if I can clear Turtle Rock though. But I think if I can clear Turtle Rock, what do I still need? I still need Ether and Ice Rod. Those are the, like, Ether, Ice Rod, and one sword. Those are the things I still need here. So I don't actually need that much more, which means that that's bad seeing the big key here. I'm gonna go back and do that first, I think. It's awkward reading this, so this would have been definitely a version of this dungeon where going to the back first would have been better. Some people just go straight for Moth, whereas I generally prefer to clear the front side first. But this is definitely one such case where this didn't work out. I am used to doing this bomb jump with Marissa now. I don't think that's spaced properly, so we're going to do the bonk to get across. Okay, yeah, so the last item is in. I could have kept going. But at the same time, I want to flute away at the end. This is one of those, because I've got the mirror and I've got the flute, delete those in the game. I'm just kidding, but still. This is one of those cases where I don't want to be going back through this dungeon. I want to be fluting away from here, like straight away. So I really don't want to be pestered by that stuff when I'm coming out of here. So as a result, I kind of do the front half first and then get burned when that happens, but it's okay. We might just go for Turtle Rock next, actually, as the thing. It's a bit of a risk to do that, because if I don't get the Ice Rod in there, and the Ice Rod in Turtle Rock is not as common as it used to be. I still get it from time to time, but it's not as ubiquitous as it used to be. You used to get it all the time in there, nowadays it's just, like, sometimes in there. I used a lot of magic in that room. That's potentially troubling because I don't have a lot from Moth here. I have a decent number of hearts, but Moth is a boss that can kill you, like, instantly. So this could still be pretty bad. So we'll just have to see if I can deal with this a little bit. So Fighter Sword takes like 16 hits to kill Moth or something. It's really kind of annoying. A spin will do a little bit more. You can use the hammer and do it in 4 hits if you're good with the hammer, but I'm generally not that good with the hammer, so I don't usually try to do it with hammer. Although I guess I could in this case. Yeah, there we go, just get the last hit with the hammer. You can't hit Moth if it goes into spikes. Like, if it goes into spikes, then it takes no damage from that hit. So it's really painful to hit with the hammer, which is already difficult to hit with, and then find that it went into spikes, so it took no damage from that hit. It's really annoying. So, but that worked out quite well overall as a fight. But the last item is the one that is in the back here, so we do need to pick this chest up still, unfortunately, because every other chest has been picked up in this dungeon. This happens sometimes, but even then, this is a pretty quick dungeon, so I'm not too worried. It could have been a lot worse. And that item... that item is half magic, which would have been really good for the fight, but you know what? It's okay. Could have been a lot worse. So, at this stage, I could go... have a better defense in front of you. That's a shield upgrade, so we don't need that. We're not getting mirror shield in this run. That would have been kind of funny, actually, to see a Cirno with a mirror shield, but we ain't getting that. Yeah, I'm gonna go Turtle Rock here. So, the safer play would probably be to go back to Palace of Darkness here. But I'm gonna go for what I would do in, like, any race run. And I'm gonna go for Turtle Rock here. Because I can get into Turtle Rock, and if it doesn't have the Ice Rod, it might still have Ether to do Misery Maya. So... this might work out, this might turn out to be a complete dud, but Turtle Rock is known for having progression stuff as well at this point. in this version, I've had so many things here. Like the fire rod has been in here quite a bit. Had one famous race where I've had the fire rod in the laser bridge room. Managed to get all the way to the deep end of Turtle Rock, and the fire rod was like the last chest in there or something. So, you know, we've had fun stuff like that. I have had... what else have I had in here? The ice rod's quite common, the bow is quite common, although we already have the bow now, so that's not going to happen, but that is still a thing. There could be another sword in here, which would be quite good, and when I'm done in here, I can check the ether tablet too, so I can see if I need the item from that. So there's plenty of good reasons to be in here right now. At the same time, like, I need the ice rod to finish this dungeon, so if the ice rod is not in here, we won't be able to get the crystal right now. Which is a bit of a bummer, but we will see how that works. So, first item, small key, okay, that's not too bad. Ah, that was stupid. I don't normally fail that, but I guess I was too far away when I tried to go through the door. Oh, well, it's not a problem. Okay, so you need to die because you are actually really annoying coming back through here. So just do that, and we shall see if we get any use... Oh, wow, this menu is super weird right now, though. See if we get any useful stuff out of here. So we can... cane dash our way up. It's like the only good use of cane burner in this entire game, in my opinion. This is looking like a fast T-Rock though, so if there's nothing in here, this would have been a bit of a time loss compared to most people. Because most people will not be doing Turtle Rock this early, let me tell you. This is not quite a specialty play of mine per se, but this is definitely not the standard option that people go for to do Turtle Rock with this sort of resource. So because I don't have a least tempered sword, these guys are kind of stupid to kill, so fire rod is my way through. Just make sure you don't get wrecked by the chain chomps too badly, because even on red mail they still really hurt. Okay, this is not a fast T-Rock, because that would have been a small key. If that would have been a small key even, that would have been a fast T-Rock, which means essentially it's just a case of, well, you don't have to open the vanilla big key chest for anything, or if you're not looking for items, you just get to ignore that chest and you go for the small key later on, you know. You just get the small key from the pokey here, and you only need one more to finish the dungeon. So we'll just make that go away like that. Grab the key. We need to check what is on this bit, because this island has a high tendency to have an item nowadays. And it did, it had Master Sword, so you know what, that's fine. Getting a second sword is good. So at the very least in that sense, we have what we need to beat the game now. Master Sword is not fun to beat Ganon with, but we have half magic, so... half magic and cape, I'm perfectly fine doing Master Sword Ganon at that state. Like, I can do it without it as well, but it's very nice when I have the cape. So, whoop, use the fire rod there. We do have Mimic Cave that we can check as well, so there's that. The nice thing though, we have at least managed to get something out of this. Even if we don't actually get to finish this dungeon right now, we have at least got the sword, which is good. Because you can imagine if I came here in go mode, where I don't actually need to pick any items up, I might not have gotten that sword. So here, you just need to make sure that you weren't actually holding a direction when you grab onto the rail, and then you can manipulate their movement, which is pretty good. You don't actually need the bow for that. I think the bow can be there. You can use bombs too, but I think it takes like 4 bombs to kill one Mimic, so good luck with that, basically. So just manipulate them and use the hammer for it. So it's a heart piece in there, not particularly good. We have 3 items left in this dungeon now. One of them could be a Trinex. This next chest coming up has to be a small key, because otherwise we would not be able to progress in this dungeon. So this is already set as to what it is. Wow, I pressed a button way too slow there. That's what I was trying to do. So we get that, dash, and again, the button didn't button. Because I guess my timing is just off on that. I think I pressed the button before the block was fully formed, so I was bad. Alright, so here there is actually a little safety island you can get here, so we'll go ahead and grab the stuff off of that, because we'll probably be using like Canis Amariah here for, I mean the cape would work too, but we'll probably just use the Canis Amariah to get the items off the laser bridge. This is part of the logic now as of v8.26, where like Spike Cave and all of the force damage areas and stuff like laser bridge here, you actually are required to have this in order to, hey, we can beat the game now. You're required by the logic to have these items to get through. Alright, last one is this ice rod. No, it is not. So we are hosed in this area. Right, so I think if I go here, I can actually leave, right? Yeah, so I need to go and check the ether tablet. Yeah, so we didn't get anything else out of there, but the sword being where it was, like, if I don't find another sword, that is pretty good. Unfortunately, this means we have to do pendant dungeons to proceed, though. So that sucks, because there's nothing else that I can do right now, unless I get ether here, and then I could do Misery Maya. So if we get vanilla ether, that would be nice. But I don't expect that's gonna happen here. I could do though. I have vanilla Quake from Catfish recently, so this definitely could happen. So let's see, what are we gonna get? We are going to get a heart container. Wah wah. Yeah, so definitely nothing there. So it is either pod or ice, and because there's a crystal that I can get afterwards, I'm gonna go pod here. We did already get 2 items out of this dungeon though, so there's only 3 left in here, but I still think this is worth it. So yeah, kind of unfortunate I went in here earlier and couldn't finish it, but that is fine, that is just how it goes. There could still be something in ice. We're basically looking at a full clear. Version 26 seems to just be really, really slow overall, because it just seems to be that you have to go absolutely everywhere. And I don't know, like, I have not had the best of luck with this version. I know some people seem to consistently get stupid fast times off of this, so, like, it's, in a way, it feels like it's just me, but then I know it's not, because players I know are exceptionally good also still hit these, like, really high times and whatnot. Like, not to deliberately call out Christos, but Christos Owen is one of the best players of this game, really. And even, you know, yesterday, like the race that we did, I say yesterday at the time of recording, which is Friday here, so, yeah, even then, like, he had a just over 2-hour time where I was like a 1:57 or so. So, you know, actually the latest runtime that you see on there, 1:57.38, that was the previous race that we did. And it's like, yeah, Christos even hit 2 hours on that scene. So it's not just me, but at the same time, it does seem like some people have a much better grasp of how to get lucky in this version, I guess. I don't know. Not trying to be, like, deliberately defeatist or anything, but it really does... How did he not get hit? Really does feel like it's luck in this version, not all... I mean, Obviously you've got to have the ability to go fast with that luck, but it feels like it's mostly just luck in this version. Chances are, oh, that's not a small key. I was going to say chances are that's a small key because there's a thing left here. Also, just getting map and compass there means Helmasaur has an item, which sucks because now I'm going to have to finish this dungeon. Because I can't really leave that item behind and expect to get away with it. So, that's pretty bad. Yeah, both of those had to be small keys because the logic does not allow a small key to be in the Dark Maze. Because that could lead to soft locks, and we don't want those. Because it would be feasible for people to use all of their keys in other places, and if you can't do the hammer jump, which I sort of can, but it's inconsistent as all hell, yeah, you would not be able to complete the dungeon, so you just don't get small keys in this place. There used to be small keys in here, like I know I got a couple in previous versions, but not anymore. So this is where we're going to find out the Ice Rod was in here, and then I could have finished Turtle Rock, and there was another item in there as well. The Mushroom! That's like the worst item I could have found right now, come on. The Mushroom is just so dumb, because now I have to go and check that. Oh man, that's weak. I suppose I can use it as an excuse to get the potion, but I have 14 hearts red mail. I don't need the potion. I should have put this further up. It's fine. Like, I don't need potions at this point. I might get a blue... I suppose I've got an empty bottle, so I'll get a blue one, but... You know, like, I really don't need them. It's another thing, I always love this. Like, I've said it before, but I love that about the randomizer, that if you've got stuff like Canis Amariah, you can do some really creative stuff in this sort of dungeon, which you wouldn't be able to do in vanilla, so that's always fun. And it's going to be a shame too if it turns out that Fat Fairy's got something here, like Ether, because the crystal that is Crystal 6 is Turtle Rock, and I wasn't able to get that before, so... That's going to feel pretty bad if that turns out to be the case. So because I don't have full health, gotta switch to something else here to hit the crystal switch. I didn't pick up the boomerang, so I had to do something else with that, fortunately. Usually it's the Ice Rod that I would use for that, but oh wait, I don't have it right now, you know? Oh, what? How did the Tills not get hit there? Shenanigans, I tell you. I'm pretty bad at this turtle room. Don't know why, I just am. So, yeah, not really a lot else for this here. It's either here or Ice Palace. That's pretty much it. And I don't know. This, like I said, this happens a lot at the moment though, where I'm basically getting the last possible location that an item could possibly be is where it is. And this version does favour dungeons a little bit more than the overworld, but at the same time I feel like that's what I've been doing, you know? Is more of the dungeon stuff. But it still just hasn't really worked out. You know? It's kind of depressing. So, of course there's going to be nothing there, because why would there be? I can use this opportunity to quickly clear Eastern as well. Just get the dungeon out of the way. But at this rate, like, we're still looking for 2 items. Now granted, I have basically cleared Turtle Rock at this point, so it won't take... what about No Shot? Won't take too long to get through that dungeon again. But yeah, we're looking at a seed which I am probably not going to sub to. That average time of 1 hour 50 is not a lie, as much as I would like to say it isn't. You know, that average time is not a lie. This version is really slow. I've only had about 4 or 5 seeds, I think, which have been less than about 1 hour 40. And I'm not bad at this game at this point, you know? I mean, obviously I've been playing this for quite a long time, so I'd like to think I'm not bad at it. But, I can't remember which one, I think it was like version 23 or something, was like the fastest one in recent times before they changed the algorithm, and now it seems really slow. Or I'm just getting really unlucky with it. My average time in like v23 was about an hour and 30. Like, not too much higher than that. So it has definitely been a lot slower. And in this case, I don't even necessarily think it's my own fault with it. Because we were like an hour and 10 minutes without a sword in this run, right? And there's only so much you could do with some of the placement that we had, so I'm not even... Oh, what? Oh, come on. I mean, stuff like that is obviously my fault. I was not far enough over to hit the guy, which is really stupid, actually. There's no reason to miss him, but yeah, like, we've been so long in this run without the tools that we would need to get any further in it. So, it's weird, but it genuinely just feels like super slow at the moment. That said, we have got 5 crystals. So, it's not all bad. 5 crystals is still reasonable. But we're missing 2 items and we can't actually do the last 2 like crystals yet. So at the same time, sort of feels a little bit like, well, how much progress do we really have, you know? When we're about to have to go into the 3rd pendant dungeon and clear that as well. This is a other shield. I want my stuff here. No, I may as well just take this shield. Why not, eh? Fua, though. This is annoying, because yeah, we're gonna have to go into ice now. That's the only other place to go. So, I mean, the flippers could have indicated that we were going here, but at the same time, Swamp was also the place to go, so it wasn't even like this was heavily hinted at the time. And we had, yeah, the crystal dungeon we could clear, which was Swamp, so we had to go there first. This is also Pendant Ice, and we know the pedestal doesn't have anything, so it's not like we want to be here. But yeah, this just happens a lot in this version, where it seems to be that the majority of seeds are you must 100% clear the game in order to beat them. And that can be fun for some people. I don't find it fun when it's every seed, which seems to be more often than not the way this goes at the moment, like I was saying. So, I don't know. I shouldn't have switched to the bombs here actually, because you could still use the hookshot to grab that middle block there, make this a little bit quicker. Normally if you've got Tempered Sword you can avoid the lag frames there by killing some of the penguins, but because I don't, kind of can't avoid it. Oops. I didn't actually want to... but avoiding doing the jump here. Is that going to hit this one? Yeah, it is. Okay. You've got a lot more leniency on that than I give it credit for. Oh, come on. Stupid everything with this floor. This room sucks, by the way. Alright, let's see how the Ice Palace bomb jump works with Cirno. Shouldn't be too bad, but... yeah, Cirno I think actually is standing a bit further back though, so... yeah, okay, not too bad. It's a bit tricky to actually gauge how different sprites are going to affect the jump. I didn't really need to do the jump here, that might actually slow me down a little bit in the long run, but I just wanted to see how it worked with Cirno. You can still see Cirno's shadow for the most part, so really it's not that bad. You know what, actually with a small key I'm gonna go this side first, and I'm gonna do the stuff up here. Because this might actually be the direction I'm supposed to be going for like the big key or something, and that'd be quite nice. So we'll do that, hit switch, pull the tongue, Sort of the standard fare there. Well, that's one item out of this dungeon, which was absolute butt kiss, but you know, there has to be something in here though, because I don't have anywhere else to go. But that always ends up being the question in the end. It's like, oh, I don't have anywhere else to go, right? What have I missed? That always ends up being the horrible question that you ask yourself. Oh, but I am pretty sure at this stage of the game I have not missed anything. So, like, the one place I haven't done is a place I can't, and there's the ice rod. So that lets us finish Turtle Rock. I still need the third item out of here before I bail though, because the third item out of here could definitely be Ether. But if it's not here, then it might well be Fat Fairy, like I was fearing. So that could be fun, right? Let's go do it this way. So do the bomb jump. Apparently not do the bomb jump. Yeah, Cirno's sprite actually leans further back, and I need to take account of that. It's fine. There's the third item anyway. That is Ether for Go mode. So Ice Palace was the play, and I didn't make it for absolutely ages. But that's just how it goes. Alright, so we have more than enough stuff at this point to do the rest of the game. 14 hearts red mail is fine. Master Sword is troublesome, but not the end of the world. I just realized these dungeons were both vanilla in their requirements. It's kind of fun. Yeah, Master Sword is troubling, but not too bad when you've got what's its face? The oh, here's another fun thing you can do if I'm actually gonna be able to grab it here. Yeah! Gonna get to do a bird toss. So Ether freezes the bird, and you can toss it. That's the bit of a meme in the regular community. You can toss it in the water, just kill it that way. It's kind of fun. Not necessarily that much of a meme in Rando, but it's definitely a meme in vanilla because you get to toss that bit quite a bit. So I should have used the Pegasus boots to get that guy there. Whatever. There's a lot of magic going around here. So hopefully we get the big key in here quite quickly. That would be nice. The big key can be in a lot of different places in this dungeon, and we're just going to hope that it's somewhat early so I can just get out of here. The one thing I don't have is Magic Powder. Magic Powder would be really good for the health refill at the top of Ganon's tower, but if we don't get it, we don't get it. That's fine. So I think I might actually get Cane and Burner out here, just because my health is not the greatest, and I don't have a refill for this dungeon. So, I mean, I have Blue Potion, but I don't want to go wasting that. So we're just gonna Cane and Burner this. Shovel! That is like the second worst, well, pretty much the other worst item I could get right now. You know, I think Shovel is slightly worse than Mushroom though, because the Mushroom, at the very least, you can use that to, with the flute, you can get stuff quite easily. But the Shovel, that's a really far out of the way spot when you've already done the South Dark World check. There we go. So nice and easy little room here. Gotta watch it when you come back out, because any tile that was active, nice Tempered Sword, any tile that was active will come straight for you. Okay, so with Tempered Sword we definitely have like all the good resources for the game here. I don't really want to do the vanilla big key chest if I can avoid it, because it is slow and annoying. So we're gonna hopefully get the big key like here. Nope. There is one other chest it could be in, so we'll go for that. Because again, it is really slow doing the regular big key vanilla locations, so I'm going to try and avoid it here. Might just get RNG'd out and it'll be there anyway. Usually I do go for that chest, yeah, because like every fucking time it's there. So that's a bit unlucky, but at the same time, you know, it is what it is. At the very least I can hit the crystal switch on the way back now. So hitting this crystal switch means that I can not have to hit the crystal switch in the basement. So that's a minor buff, because I won't have to worry about the bomb stuff there. Get out of here. So it'll be okay. And we've got silver arrows, so silver arrows make Vitreous really good, so that's fine. You can use the whole, like, shoot a thing through the block in order to hit the torches there much quicker. Yeah, you can see why I wanted to avoid this though. It's pretty painful. Because it's just, like, you've got to wait for this whole thing to get pushed off screen, and it's really bad. But yep, that is the vanilla Big Lee correlation. Yes, I can't even say the mistake there. Big key location. That's where it is in vanilla. So, oh well. That is, again, what it is. You play the game of rando, you take the chances, and if it doesn't work, you just go, whatever, I tried. That's pretty much all you can ask from me. So, yeah, at the very least though, when we are going back through Turtle Rock, it's going to be fast, because I have already done, like, all the stuff there, and I have Tempered Sword now, so that one room with the 2 pokies, I can kill them with Tempered Sword spins, instead of using the Fire Rod, so that's quite nice. Once again, do not need to hit the crystal switch here, because I have already hit it in the room above. That's a very important thing to note if you are go-moding this dungeon and you get the big key in one of the first 2 chests. You do not want to hit the crystal switch, because it is a waste of time. That is very easy to forget that you don't need to hit it, so just keep that in mind. Because you don't want to be wasting time on stupid stuff like that. So now, all we have left to do is kill Vitreous, move on up and kill Trinex, and then I forgot that I didn't need to wait for these things to come down. You do have to watch the damage these guys deal to you, and yeah, because I forgot that I didn't have to wait for them. A little bit slow on the cycle there. You can kill them with silvers before Vitreous shoots any lightning, and that's quite nice, but I was too slow and didn't get to do that. Alright, so, like I was saying before though, if I was in Go mode going into Turtle Rock, which I would have been if I didn't go there before Ice Palace, I would not have gotten what would have been Tempered Sword out of the vanilla big key chest. Because I wouldn't check that, it's slow, right? So, in one respect, going up to Turtle Rock early actually helped me out, because I got a sword that I wouldn't get otherwise. And if I don't find a sword in Ganon's tower before I end here, then I would have been stuck on Master Sword. Whereas now I have Tempered Sword, which is much faster. With Master Sword, you cannot actually slash Ganon. You have to spin attack him, and then it does the same damage as Tempered Sword. So it is very painful to have to do that. You have to do 12 spins per phase, and then if you don't have silvers and you're having to do silverless Ganon with Master Sword, it is 24 spins for the final phase. It is really bad, so you absolutely do not want to miss Tempered Sword in an easy location if you can avoid it. It can be made a little bit easier with the cape, but that depends on Ganon going next to a wall so you can get double hits with spin attacks. That doesn't always happen, so yeah, definitely not a particularly easy fight to do. I need some Amariah. So, but despite all of this though, we're still looking at over 2 hours here, unless Ganon's tower is nice. Because I think this dungeon's going to take me about 4 minutes to go, 4 or 5 minutes maybe to go through. I think it's about 4 that it should take me from here. 4 minutes to go through this, and then it's gonna take, it takes me about 5 minutes to complete the ascension of Ganon's tower. So if the big key is in an unfavorable location, then it will take a lot of time to do GT. It can be like 10 minutes, I think, to do GT. More than 10 minutes. So, yeah, we're gonna have to have a nice big key for that. And then the final fight with Ganon should take about 3 minutes, including the cutscene. So, I don't know. We might still make it. I don't think we will, but we might. Nice shield block there as well. There's a decent reason to pick the fire shield up there. Is very select rooms, but rooms like that you can really get some nice value out of the fire shield. Also, it kind of fits with the color scheme, you know? We've got a red sword, we've got a red Cirno, we've got a red shield, you know, it kind of fits. I slashed the switch there, by the way, because that saves me having to slash the switch that you walk down to in the room at the bottom. Because in the maze room with the switch blocks, you would have to slash the one that's at the bottom, and it's... I don't think it's really slower, but it feels slower, so I just do that anyway. You know, I'm kind of thinking about this a little bit more. I said she's a her at first, but this Cirno costume kind of looks a little bit more like Flandre. Like if you gave her the rainbow wings instead of the yellow ones, you'd basically have Flandre here, which is kind of cute. It's nice. You know, that's pretty much it. It's nice. So because I didn't pick up a boomerang, I can just do a one menu transition to go from Amariah to Ice Rod, which is pretty good. And now we don't have to worry about doing Master Sword here either, which is also a decent time save. If you've got Butter Sword, you can one cycle these things, but when you only have the Temper Sword, you've got to do a bit more work with it. Since he's doing another cycle, that's kind of unlucky actually. That's a fast 2 cycle there. Normally he doesn't do 2 when you're quick enough like that. Apparently my spin didn't spin at the start, so it's whatever, you know. I was a bit too late on doing the first spin attack. So, Trinex did have an item, and it is... Dragon Treasure! Okay. That's not bad actually, it's kind of fitting. So finally, with our last crystal here, again, this feels really slow, but at the same time, that's just this version, you know? That's how, that is just what it is. Because even if if I went to Ice Palace earlier, this would be a lot quicker. So I imagine there would be like 3 or 4 races at least, if we were doing this in a race, that would have been done like 5 minutes ago. Which is it's frustrating, because at that point it's just dumb luck. And it feels like, because I haven't played the greatest, but I definitely haven't played the worst here. I suppose the Tower of Hera stuff, again at the start, like I keep thinking on that, but at the same time, I couldn't have gotten the hammer at the start because of the way I went round, so I don't know, but I definitely could have gone up the tower, just wouldn't have been able to do anything up there. Anyway. Are we going to get a small key here? We are going to get a small key here, so my play nowadays, if I get a small key out of those 2 chests, is I always go for the right side. And then I go ahead and pick up the stuff here. Because this is quite a quick check. At least I feel pretty confident in doing this as a quick check, so... Although when that guy gets in the way, it's kind of annoying, but like I feel confident in doing this quickly. So there's like 4 more chests. Oh, come on, 4 more chests over here to check. So yeah, it's a nice quick thing to do. Get you these 4 chests, and there we go. Big key was over here. Nice bomb burst too. Okay. So we're looking for 1 small key, didn't get it, that's fine. There's a small key here, you need at least 1 small key before you actually get up the tower. So just make sure you pick that up on the way past, and we are on the way. So we are going to sub 2 this seed. That much is guaranteed now, we are going to sub 2. You can immediately see the sort of value play of doing that as I did though. That's why I do that particular route here. So I'm going to pick up the small magics here because I don't want to go into the refresh room if I can avoid it. I do have a blue potion I can use, so we'll just use that to get back up. And really from here it is just all about raw gameplay. Just when you don't have mirror shield, don't get caught by these guys facing you because that is really slow. And yeah, it is basically just raw execution at this stage. This is the one part of the run which is the same every time, and practice it well is all I can say. But even then, it still messes people up sometimes. So just try not to get messed up. That's the obvious solution, right? I personally, especially if I've got half magic, I love to use the fire rod in this place because these guys are assholes. And trying to hit them with the sword is really annoying. Hitting them with the pots is fine, but a little bit slow, like especially compared to that. You just blitz that room. Hitting them with arrows is kind of annoying because it tends to lag. So I don't tend to like doing that. So definitely, if I can actually hit these guys though, definitely fire rod is the way to go for me. And then if I have silver arrows, I will always silver arrow landmo, because again, it is just quicker for me. I very rarely get a one cycle here if I don't silvers, although sometimes even when I do have silvers, I just freaking miss the shots. So that's kind of annoying. Got the wrong order there. Yeah, if you're not in the right position to start this fight, then you're just gonna miss and embarrass yourself, but that's whatever. Sometimes you just get a sucky play. So try not to do that. It really isn't that bad to do, so it gets kind of annoying. If you've got Fire Rod and a lot of magic though, Fire Rod does two-shot them, so as we saw earlier on in the run. So definitely keep that in mind, that can be useful. This is what I was talking about, Canis Amariah being used as a weapon. That's like the best place in the game to do it. You can actually do it in the first room of Maya as well, but that's a bit more complicated to get them, because they might not be spawning in at the same time. Oh, might not be spawning in all at the same time, so you have to be a bit more careful about that. So long as you're quick enough here, you can get up here without any issue. Don't risk it though, because if you go up that staircase at the same time as a torch goes out, then you will despawn the entire tower and you have to start all over again, and that's really bad. And if you actually don't have the mirror, because if you don't need to do swamp, you might not have the mirror, if you despawn this tower in a mirrorless seed, you are going to have to save quit. Like, there is no way out of it, so definitely don't do that. I do want the magic here. I'm not even going to bother opening the chest, because, like, what could I get? Gold sword, maybe? That's, like, the only thing that could potentially save me any time at this point. Not worth it. So 1 slash and 1 spin is enough to knock out Moldorm with Tempered Sword. So just go ahead and do that. Because it can't even be Sank Heart that I get, because I already got Sanctuary Heart somewhere else, so I'm not going to get a health refill here. No point in opening the chests. So now, just a little bit more to go. This is going to be slightly slower than my last run, but it should still comfortably be sub 2. Yeah, sub 2 is not a given anymore though, which is surprising considering the, you know, I don't know how I didn't hit him with the one that was horizontal there, but okay, oh, this is a bad pattern. Yeah, I don't know what I was supposed to do about that one. This is not a great pattern either though. Ugh, horrible aghanim. Everybody would get the same RNG here, so, but how did I not hit him there? Come on. Terrible, terrible aghanim. But hey, it happens. Hate to say that it does, but look at Shadow's motion there. That's kind of funny. I hate to say it happens, but you know. Sometimes you just don't get the way that you want from it. You don't get the pattern that helps you out. Alright, so I do have to watch my health a little bit, but I have the cape, I have a blue potion, so we'll be fine. Ganon's got his little talky talk. this ends up happening. And that's not quick enough to get this done, but that's fine because this is the easy pattern. You just go into the corner like this. This is what you want to see if you're doing Master Sword for this fight. So that'll be enough, because spins do double damage with Tempered Sword. They don't with Gold Sword, but... yeah, and now Ganon has teleports. I'm gonna just use this just to be completely sure that I ain't gonna die. So, these teleports are fixed per seed, so everybody playing this seed would get those initial 2 teleports. So, it's fine. Looks like that mushroom turn-in actually did do some good stuff in the end. Lots of teleports at the moment, which is obviously pretty annoying for speed's sake, but it's fine. Now we just have to silver arrow kill. Well, okay. I've got a green potion anyway, so even if it did somehow come into play that, it's not gonna matter. And there we go. So that is Cirno. And a really annoying seed. But you know what? It's fine. This is v8.26, this is gonna happen more often than not. And really, it's only a quote-unquote annoyance if you're actually trying to speedrun these things, right? Or, you know, go fast. Not necessarily speedrun, that's a bit of a weird one. Ah, of course. But yeah. Interesting though, that we didn't have a sword for more than an hour. That is easily the longest I've ever been without a sword. So, fun stuff on that one. So I don't know if any of these have actually been changed from before. I think there have been a couple of additions to the lineup here. Salutations, homecoming. Always interesting seeing the different names for Southshore here. But yeah, there's a couple of new ones that have come up, but mostly it's the same. These chests for some reason are also like based on your color palette. So you can see they're really weird this time actually. Like if you're playing with Marissa, say, then they're really deep red. But they're a bit more normal in this one, which is interesting. But yeah, the color of your character will determine the color of those chests as well. Again, it's just amusing. Doesn't it seem a bit weird seeing Cirno as tall as, like, or basically as tall as somebody, like a real human person? I don't know, it's kind of amusing. Yes, what a seed this was in the end. Definitely shouldn't have gone for Tower of Hera as early as I did. That was weird. But then again, it turned out that I had to go Tower of Hera at some point, so that was kind of interesting. I think having to use Canis Amariah at the beginning to do escape is not something that I've ever had to do. It's something I've used before, but not exclusively. So that was quite fun. What else was there that was cool? I guess just the interesting thing of not having a sword for ages. Yeah, just weird overall. Like, we got a lot of speed stuff at the beginning. We got the flutes, got the flutes. Got the boots, got the flute, which is always what you want to see at the start because just super fast play overall. But it took a long time to get anywhere else, which is interesting. Kind of unfortunate in the end that some of the pendant stuff really didn't work out. Palace of Darkness was not necessary in the slightest. Ice Palace was the place to go. That is maybe something that I could have inferred, but it's like, well, we got the bow as well, so which chain do you follow here? Yeah, that one is different from what it used to be. So yeah, it really is a case of, well, you've got to follow one sort of item chain stuff with that, and we already got stuff from Swamp Palace, which was like the sword and whatnot, already got stuff we needed to progress from there, so Ice Palace might just be a red herring. And Ice Palace is really slow for 3 items, and at least doing Pod I was able to do Eastern afterwards as well. So I don't know, it's a tough call, and I am not the best person for making that call, unfortunately. I want to get a little bit better with it, but in the end it's all just luck, I feel, and unless there's just something I'm missing, because it might just be that it's, like, if you will, it's too high a level for me to understand on a consistent basis, at least. Because it does seem like some people consistently do ridiculously well with this. And I don't know, like, maybe there is just something I'm missing about it at this stage, but it's okay, because I still do pretty well anyway. I do get those races where I win by like 10 to 20 minutes, and it obviously feels really awesome. I have had those ones where I get hammered as well, but usually I'm sort of within the ballpark where like a couple of different decisions would have definitely made a lot of difference. So still feel alright with it. It just, like, this version just feels really, really slow, and I don't know, it's interesting in that way. Not necessarily good interesting, at least not all the time, but definitely more interesting than it used to be. But yeah, that was Cirno as a test sprite, hopefully available in version 8.27. We'll have to see, but I figured when I got the seed for testing for Machi, it was like, well, I don't really want to stream this because the qualifiers are today, so why not just do a recording that I could maybe upload overnight or something. And you guys will likely end up seeing this maybe a day or two after it has been recorded, but that is fine. So now we've got Rumia, we've got Marissa. Marissa's sprite is amazing in this, by the way. If you've not played with Marissa, or if you've not seen Marissa played in this, definitely go ahead and use Marissa at least once. That sprite is ridiculously good. It is without a doubt the one that I use like all the time now, and nothing else really, because it's just so much fun. But yeah, this one is also pretty good, gotta say. The whole floating thing is fun, although it did mess up one of my jump attempts in Ice Palace, but that's fine. That worked out for the better in the end, really. But it did sort of mess me up a bit there, which was quite fun. But I got the actual Ice Palace bottom jump second time, which is not bad. First time only being like too far away. And for a new sprite, that's pretty good, because there's a lot of them, especially like Zelda. If you've ever played with Zelda or Maple Queen, maybe the Maiden does it as well, I don't know. But if you've ever played with one of those two, you'll know that the bomb jumps can be slightly more difficult because the dress overlaps with the shadow, so it becomes tricky to do. 22 bonks with early boots is actually pretty good, so I'll take that. Yeah, you can see just how many times we used a flute here. It's pretty good. 18 flute usages is pretty strong. Menu time is really, really slow in this one, but that's because we had to do a ton of item menuing at the start. We were without a sword for so long that we needed to use the menu so much for stuff that way, and we had to do Argus with epic menuing. So yeah, normally my menu times are within the realm of 3 minutes, or quite often even sub 3, but this was not one of those sorts of seats. So unfortunately, tons of time spent in the menu here. Something I would like to, I mean, that's the highest I've seen my menu time in about 4 months now. So, you know, but Argus will do that to you when you don't have Master Sword. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed yourselves, and until next time, I'm not